So let's talk about how you can understand a great deal about your existing and potential customers. I call this concept buyer personas. Tony Robbins has talked about this concept of ideal customers, very similar concept, buyer personas. The problem here is that I went out and I looked at about a half dozen different furniture manufacturers. And I kept thinking how similar what I'm looking at is to the way that I look at the hotel business and I look at hotel websites. Did anybody check out the hotel website that you're staying at while you're down here in Tampa? Raise your hand really high and look around the room. That's almost everyone who checked out the hotel website before you came here, as did I. So here's the Marriott in Tampa. What do we have? We have logo top left. We have a picture of the beds. We have a widget for reserving the room. We have a description of the rooms underneath that picture. Here is the Crown Plaza in Melbourne, Australia. I stayed there last year. What do we have? Logo top left. We have a picture of the beds. We have a widget for the reserving the room here on the left. We have a description underneath. How about this one? This is the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas, Nevada. What do we have? Logo top left, picture of a bed. We have a description. We have a widget for reserving the room. Sometimes the widget for reserving the room is on the other side. Here's the Hyatt Hotel in Zurich, Switzerland. Logo top left. We have a picture of a bed with very Swiss-like precision on the pillow orientation, wouldn't you say? We have a description underneath. We have a widget for reserving the room. Oh, and here's the Ibis Hotel there in London. We've got the same thing, right? The logo. We've got a picture of the bed. We've got a description. We've got the widget for reserving the room. We've got the Oberoi Grand in Calcutta, India. Same idea, picture of the bed. We've got a description underneath, widget for reserving the room. I found this hotel in Chicago, and guess what? The widget's on the top. Is that not radical or what? They probably spent $1 million with some marketing agency and says, we need to be different. And they said, oh, okay, we'll put the widget for reserving the room at the top. Now, I make fun of this because it's so true. Tony talked about this afternoon. So many industries copy one another. The hotel business, they copy one another. They all do essentially the same thing. It's really hard to sort out how they're different from one another. I looked at a bunch of different furniture manufacturers. I found something pretty similar. You look pretty similar to one another. I want you to think how you can be different, and the way you can be different is to align yourself with what I call buyer personas. Who are the people who are buying your products and services? Because nobody cares about the products or services themselves. What they care about are themselves, and what they care about are solving their problems. So the idea here is, how can you tell your story directly to an interested market? Now, I'm not in the hotel business, but here are some of the potential customers for a hotel. These are the buyer personas which might buy a hotel service. We've got an independent business traveler coming to Tampa who might make a decision based on something that I would make, like, what does the health club look like? Then you've got the corporate travel department of a company located in Tampa, for example, SunTrust, who has hundreds or even thousands of people coming to corporate headquarters. Very different buyer persona, that individual who makes a decision of what hotel to put people in. Then you've got an organization planning an event. Oh my gosh, Ashley Furniture is coming to Tampa. You need hotel rooms. A very different buyer persona is the person from Ashley Furniture who found the hotels that you're staying in. Or how about a couple planning on getting married and they need a place to have a wedding reception? How about somebody coming to Tampa for vacation? Very different buyer personas. So what I suggest is, if you understand those buyers really well, that you can then create content for each one of them. You can then curate content for each of those buyer personas. For the couple planning on getting married, maybe you have a wedding blog. And the wedding blog is what it's like to get married in Tampa, with videos of the YouTube videos of the bands, of perhaps menus that are written by chefs, all sorts of cool stuff you could do, but so few hotels did it. 2 months ago, I was in Poland. at a speaking gig in Poland. And I found this really awesome hotel group. They're called Puro Hotels. Their buyer persona, I spoke with some of the people who are there. Their buyer personas are people who travel to Poland and consider themselves hipsters. So if you're a hipster and you want to go to Poland, this hotel is the one that caters to you. And they don't look like any of those other hotels. This is their homepage. No bed in sight, no widget for reserving a room in sight. It's for hipsters, right? Yeah, you can use your phone when you come to the hotel. They have a blog. One of the posts I found was all about milk bars, and they have photographs of these milk bars in Poland. They're reaching a very particular buyer persona, hipsters who want to go to Poland. When I went to TripAdvisor, of 862 reviews, they're number one. The number one hotel, because they're reaching a particular buyer. So you need to think, how can I understand my buyer personas? Understand them so well that I can create the fantastic content that's just for them.